And in order to discuss this, we have invited Adrian Zuckerman, the former US ambassador to Romania. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So let us briefly begin with the question of the next NATO Secretary General. With Klaus Johannes now out of the picture, Mark Rutte is set to take up this position. Do you think that he has what it takes to meet all these challenges? Because from the very start, it is, as some commentators have already pointed out in the press, going to be a wild ride.
I agree with you. I think it is going to be a wild ride for whoever takes it. However, I'm not so sure that it's a done deal already. I really hope that the NATO members re-examine the selection of Mark Rutte. I think if one looks dispassionately at his track record, I would think there are better people for the head position of Secretary General of NATO. I think President Johannes would have been a great choice. I think the president of Estonia, Kaja Kallas, would have been a great choice. I think there are others. I think you need a unifying presence to lead NATO and to be Secretary General. I think, as he has proven over the last couple of days, Mark Rutte is anything but a unifying presence. What I mean by that is he apparently made a deal with Viktor Orban of Hungary to allow Hungary not to partake in any military operations supporting Ukraine, which is, to me, it's a very divisive move for NATO. What does that mean? What other countries will try to do the same, if not for Ukraine, for other future endeavors? It's a terrible precedent. And somebody who is not even in office yet to do something like that, to me, is completely disqualified, because it as a policy matter, it's a horrific precedent. Beyond that, Mark Rutte has had a policy while he was Prime Minister of Holland that is abysmal with regard to not just NATO, but the Eastern European countries. He kept Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia out of Schengen, which has caused great economic detriment to those countries. Under his leadership, Holland never once paid its 2% Wales pledge dues to support NATO in its defense obligations. Not once. The only time Holland may be close is this year, and those are estimations where it is. And right now I've seen projections, they say it'll be up around 2%, but who knows what will happen by the end of the year or how they proceed. And frankly, to me, he's a failed leader of Holland. He was ousted by the Dutch people. A very conservative new prime minister is ready to take over, Dick Schoof, who's a former head of the intelligence services there, and he's had other government positions. I think the people of Holland repudiated Rutte's government and Rutte's leftist socialist policies. So to put somebody into NATO that represents bad economic and energy policies that the Dutch people themselves rejected, to me, is a mistake. And I would certainly hope that the NATO leaders reconsidered their choice.
So, like you mentioned, Mark Rutte is a person that is quite puzzling, and even before he entered this arena, well, he doesn't really seem to represent, as you mentioned, perhaps the qualities that the leader has to have, according to what you're saying. Now, or looking at this from the CEE region perspective now, CEE region seems to be quite upset with the fact that, for instance, like you mentioned, the Dutch defense spending was quite low, and that the top NATO official has always, the role has always gone to Western or Northern European flank of NATO and never Eastern European flank. So, and also the move, like you mentioned, now this, let's say, collaboration between Viktor Orban and Mark Rutte in order to gain his position. What do you think does it say about future unity of NATO?
It undermines future unity of NATO. It also tells me that Mark Rutte has little or no understanding of what it takes to be a leader of more than one country. Obviously, his own people rejected him in the last year's elections, but you need a unifying leader. By comparison, if you look at President Iohannis, if you look at your own President Duda, what these two men have done shows real regional and European leadership. The two of them created the Bucharest 9 group, which is a group of 9 countries that get together periodically to discuss responses to the problems posed by Russian invasion of Ukraine and other regional problems. These two men have also been the key proponents and advancers of the 3 Cs initiative, which have started regional infrastructure projects and other projects that benefit not just their respective countries, Poland and Romania, but benefit every country in Eastern Europe. There are 13 members of the 3 Cs, and also benefits the other parts of Europe. To me, that's leadership. Balance that against what Mark Rutte has done, which is to keep out members of the European Union from Schengen, which has caused billions and billions of dollars in losses by Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia. To me, that's a huge difference. Somebody who does that should not be in a leadership position for the world's foremost defense alliance, which is NATO. It's a terrible mistake. I don't understand what the leaders are thinking of, and I hope they reconsider. It's a terrible mistake.
So Mark Rutte's candidacy has been controversial in the Central and Eastern Europe region. It may actually be that perhaps having deputies or other members of the administration within NATO coming from this region could serve to address these concerns. For the time being, however, we need to park our conversation there. Adrian Zuckerman was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your insight.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here with you.